to conversate and still show myself in the camera. So it's all over. It's all over. I'll give y'all some alto baritone. That's all I could do, really. I've been injured for 4 years right here. It's kind of like I had a stroke. They didn't classify this. All this was twisted. This was locked. My mouth went this way. My tongue was curled. I couldn't feel any part of my head right here. All this was hurt to touch. All this was still injured. No worries. Say hi. Hi, how are you? Good, good. Thank you. Beautiful people. I love creativity. I love art. I love people. I love to see people being expressive. Like, where has all that gone in life? How is everything just? And I am not. Let me fix my wig. How is everything going to just? And I'm not throwing shade towards corporations. I get it. All this needs to like evolve in life right now. But how is that the only thing of life anymore? Like, how do you block and steal culture and happiness of what people used to be and what they used to do and how they used to be expressive and show value of themselves, their heritage, their history, prosper as artists and people and thrive and just just show uniqueness and break it down to a conformative of just corporate commercialism is maybe, I don't know if I'm saying that right, and then limit it aesthetically only to people that fit that brand or that the look of that brand. And from that, those are the only people who can allow others who are not the first chosen of that brand and what that looks like to be the ones to give that privilege to those to have to come on a board and be a part. But the only way it looks like that they can be a part is if they go along with what is going on and give up all of them. But I was just saying that I was some people. I just seen some beautiful people. I just saw 12 people. That's really good. Welcome to everybody who's in my life. Just trying to unpack right now, just chilling. It's a little warm still. Evening is approaching sunset. Um, yeah, it's all over. Well, that's one thing that's over. There was a win, and there's other things going on where people are trying to win. I'm trying to win. Well, I shouldn't say I'm trying because I was told never say you're trying because to say you're trying, the words on your mouth, on your tongue, the words you speak off your tongue are power. You said that. That's how you push forward in life. You speak it into existence. So to say you're trying, it means you are willing and affirming in your life through your power of your tongue, which speaks, which can speak good or evil, but manifests. You are willing yourself to keep trying. So I was told not to say trying because if I say I am trying something, I'm going to continue to keep trying because I'm speaking into existence that I'm trying instead of I'm willing myself or I am doing something or positively manifesting it. I'm willing myself to keep trying. So I try to speak that myself and to others what I know to be true, but then I find myself as a human being that I'm human and sometimes I slip up. I slip up. Sit. They get a little jelly when I'm on camera because it's just always just us. seen this lady in another country, and the man, she was just doing this behind the guy. I didn't know you could do this on your live. I'm learning. And he just kept talking to y'all, and she just stood behind him. And they have massive amounts of people in their live. And she just did this. And he just spoke to y'all. And y'all were running it up for him. And she was just titty bopping, titty bopping. She was just titty bopping in their life, titty bopping. Now that was creative. I get it. Oh, well, thank y'all for the compliments down there. I really can't see them, but thank you. I appreciate that love. Thank you so much. So let's talk about people not natively from places where they live, but execute this dominancy and this cultural aspect of how and what to be, and police people and disenfranchise people from being successful or gaining space. And they live in these climates and basically these cocoons that are acclimated for them. What I'm seeing too is since 2020, I wasn't here, but 2020, that's when San Francisco tech boom shut down. All of Market Street, everything started closing. From what I could hear, I had just left. And what I'm noticing is I think a lot of them have relocated to the East Coast because what they were able to do was work away from the Bay Area, from Silicon Valley, but still make their money from what I was hearing. And that money was not being generated into the city where they were living and given rental stipends and things for. And so that money was being spent elsewhere. So what I've noticed is I think a good majority of them have migrated to the East Coast from the West Coast. I think they transplanted this way. Because I was there for the big boom. I was there before the boom. Well, yeah, of the boom. And that was one of the hard things for me as a black woman, as a black trans woman, just as a black woman in general. How invisible I felt. Because I didn't have the $200 to $300 blue jeans and just I don't want to get emotional. It was so much about, because I even worked inside of the places doing organic kitchens for them. Everything was provided. You're not supposed to go anywhere because they just want you to work. So they provide 3 meals a day in these kitchens. You have grab and go foods. You have organic potato chips, drinks, anything you want at your hand to go and get so that you can focus on the job. You can get massages, a lot of different things, even therapy, I hear. But the thing is to keep you working because you work about 12, 15 hours a day. I get it. But for me, I felt invisible because, I didn't have all that, expendable income. I was working, 2 to 3 jobs, but I still wasn't matching up to others because you got a rental stipend. You basically stand at a bus stop and you stand at a bus stop and it looks like you're going to catch the bus to go somewhere in the city, but actually these big buses pick you up. You start working on the bus. It takes you to your job outside of San Francisco. Some work in San Francisco, come back. You have a housing stipend. You're fed 3 times a day, 5 days a week. So on the weekend, you have all this money because you're not really spending anything. And then as I would fill it up at night, those who stay later, there's all this food, and that's how we would be able to eat sometimes, depending, but they would come and pack up stuff and take it home. And I'm saying all this because, it's amazing how people who are not like the traditional people of the areas, and I'm talking about anywhere, of how they can really perpetuate a lot of the BS to people. And what's uncomfortable is that you're in this like cocoon for you that all your folks have gathered, and y'all know that this is like a safety net for you, and your dollars and your booming and all your stuff is going, and you only see people that operate like you and work in the fields of like you and stuff. And but then you have to travel out, and I know y'all traveled. I know y'all traveled. But the discussion I want to speak to is that I know when you travel out that you don't show people what you are doing in the places and the spaces that you're living away from where you've navigated from or moved from or worked in transition with other folks that work with you or people you're meeting along the way that are in your work path. You don't show people how you're thriving and what's really going on and where you're living and how it benefits you, but also the nasty, nasty bullshit that you do to people, the nasty, nasty, nasty bullshit that you and your comrades do to people while you live in these places and spaces that support you because you work in this corporate society and it supports you. And I get it. You're talking to a girl who was going to school for graphic design. Wasn't too many blacks. It was mostly whites and Asian. Not being racist by mentioning color, because I'm black all day. People can call me black all day. I'm Creole. I'm actually five different nationalities from what the test has showed me, and I need more. Five different nationalities and 11 different racial ethnicities in that. I'm a Creole identified person. But if I say white, I'm racist. If I say this, I'm racist. But I'm black all day. I'm black all day to everybody. But I'm five different nationalities and 11 different racial ethnicities. But yes, I was raised black and that's who I am. But what I say is when I say white or I'm not being racist, it's just the color of folks. So I'm watching as this man is sitting, and I'm pretty sure what I perceive is he's gay. He has a little white purse, his leg is crossed, he's at this table. He has not gotten his face out of my mouth since I just started talking. And that's like another thing too, like there's not a lot of space. And one thing about me, I give privacy to people. I'm not a big ear hustler, but I can hear and see what's going on, but I know how to tune out or block things out because I have enough going on and I don't want other people's stuff like all up in my shit. Like I don't have room for that. I'm way too fucking psychic. I'm way too fucking like in tune and intact. Excuse my French, but I just gotta keep it real. The discernment that God gives me has given me and what I have like blocked out in my days of growing up in 48 years of repeating a lot of life cycles is because I didn't want to listen because I was really afraid of all the stuff that I was receiving and what I was getting. I didn't understand how to decipher. I was scared of the power that it gave to me. I was scared of the no that it gave to me. I didn't know. Um, I didn't know a lot of times. But I'm speaking to this because, like, I don't have time to be nosy. Like, I really don't have time to be nosy. I have enough going on. I have enough that I carry. I have enough people's stuff that comes to me that has nothing to do with me, that comes to me, and either I do something with it or I don't, or I have to learn how to discard it, or I speak it to them, or I say psychic break, discernment break, like working on myself right now. But I'm saying this because, like, this is a highly effeminate man who is like getting entitlement from being hyper feminine, but at the same time is rocking on that male privilege. But it's the fact of how far you are from me right now, but you won't stop playing in my face. You're just all up in my business. And you're doing it because you know you can do it. And then your facial like smizing me, your facial smizing me. I wasn't even being bothered with you. You actually drew me into you. You called me into you. I wasn't even, you don't know what I'm talking about, but you just won't stop playing in my face, Kia. But that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Like, I don't like, to me, there's just like a lot of waste for like energy. We can plant some trees, we can volunteer. There's the elderly that gets walked over every day, and people are like so abusive too, but not realizing that without our elders, how far we would be where we are right now. The advantages, no matter what the color, who the color are, the nationalities of our elders, without them, we would not be where we are today, benefiting off of where they've come from, the disabled, all those things. But yet, we can sit at a table and we can sketch and draw and get all this space because no one's going to bother us because of, but then we sit there and then we try to clown somebody else who we don't know, or maybe you do know them. Like I said, I'm a tourist attraction. I didn't know, I didn't sign up for it. I don't benefit from it. I don't get any money from it. I don't get any benefits from it. I don't get anything from it. But to be able to get all of that, like, you know, like to get all that male privilege, feminine entitlement, all this stuff, but then you sit at a table and you look at a girl who you don't know, or you may know of, or you perceive you know of, or like I said, I'm a tourist attraction, so there's a narrative, obviously, about me that I don't know about because no one talks to me about it. No one tells me about it, but I can see it and moving. But if I focus just on that, that will mentally set me back. That's how someone can go crazy. That's how someone can literally be walking around insane. And I am not shaming those who are there. I have worked in the field. I have family members. Like, I'm just saying, that's how you can, like, so you have to have buffers and barriers because, like RuPaul said, who started in New York, well, in Atlanta, and here in New York, and those are the days that I'm 48, but I'm not wishing to be older, but them days that they had that looked so fun, so wonderful, like of what New York was like for people from here and people that moved here and with those natively of New York that allowed folks to come here and be a part, like, wow, amazing. But like RuPaul said, what think of you? I was bought this book by a person named Bruce, who was a mentor of me when I was a homeless teen on the streets of the French Quarter, volunteering at the Lesbian and Gay Center on North Rampart Street, down the street from the Covenant House where I started as a teenager. Bought me the book of RuPaul and said, "You're going to read this." And in that book, it said, RuPaul said, "What people think of you is none of your business." And I didn't understand it at that time. I was like 19. I had started since 16. I had been sleeping on the porch since I was like 14. But, you know, that part was a critical time for me. It's like 19 going into 20. Well, no, it was before that, 18, because I was working in a hospital, at a Jewish hospital in New Orleans, because it was um, 2000. I'm going to party like it's 1999. And went into that. So I forgot what that's called with the computer. Everybody was worried about computers at that time, glitching and stuff. But anyway, they bought me that book, and RuPaul says, "What people think of you is none of your business." So for me, I listened to that and I remember that because of all of the unwanted infiltration and energetical and facial things and just psychically, like, spiritual things sent out, intentional, unintentional. I don't know. It's not my stuff to unpack and work for people, or just what people think of me in that moment of seeing me visually. Because you're talking about a very, very insecure person back in the day. I was told I wasn't going to be shit. I was told I wasn't going to amount to shit. I was told I was never going to become shit. And when people tell you that over and over and over again, I was told my gender. I was told my sexuality. I wasn't allowed to have like my own sexual like expression or being or trying or anything, um, you become that. So for me to be where I'm at now is huge because there's a person in New Orleans who I want to give love to, Milan, who I was sitting next to working in org with, and they said I give zero fucks what people think about me. I was like, what? She said I give zero fucks. Zero. Zero fucks. And from RuPaul, from Bruce getting me the book, a mentor of mine, getting me the book of RuPaul, what people think of you is none of your business. And here in Milan, a young, beautiful, hardworking woman that has helped a lot in community to say something at such a younger age and say I give zero fucks of what people think and what people say. That helped me to really like start living. I knew, but like, like because like it's none of your work, it's none of your business, it's not, and you should not give zero fucks. It's not to say that we don't care. I'm a very caring person, but when no one is doing something for you or doing anything to benefit for you, someone thinks of you in the moment or thinks of you in that, in that place or their judgment, a lot of times that's their stuff in what they're dealing with, in what they're working on, in what they're toggling, what they're frustrated with, what they are like playing blackjack and gin rummy and Russian roulette with. It's none of your stuff. So I've been able to use that to grow. I've been able to use that to like deflect a lot because I would be insane. Because to live as a person where people look at you as a famous person, but again, like you don't have the money, you don't have the fame to claim the fame as people and the structure that people who are famous have in the protection barriers and security and all this stuff, like supportive community of their world who are famous. To live like that and not know why people constantly like attract to you and gravitate to you like a magnet and you're not doing anything but just like existing and literally surviving and trying to get in where you fit in like everyone else and get opportunity and make things happen for yourself, it can like really like put you somewhere. So I just say that because if you worry about the narrative that people like align and draw out for you, it blocks and stops you from places of where you can and where you should be and where you should be continuously moving forward with yourself. Because again, they're not doing anything for you. Like what matters? The only thing I don't like is that they try to harm you. No one has the right to put their hands on you because you are not receiving what they're throwing out. No one has the right to abuse you, harm you, unlive you, or anything because you are not responding. And then the other thing is you're inside of yourself. You're inside of yourself. They don't know if you are receiving or not receiving the bullshit and the energetical shit that they're putting out and placing out there for you in those moments while walking past you, while sitting around you, or anything. They don't know if you are taking that in or not. And that was another thing I had to learn. They don't know. So sometimes I play the fool because they don't know. They don't. No one has the right to harm you for not eating their shit that they're trying to put out on you. Like who does that? Like who does that? Like who does that? Who does that to people? Like why would you want to do that to somebody? Again, are we working on ourselves? Are we focusing on ourselves? Because if you don't give a shit about me, thank you. Because that means that's easier for me. I know you don't give a shit about me, and I actually appreciate you. I actually appreciate you for being transparent and so forward. I like that kind of shit. I love that shit. I like get off on that shit, literally, because you are so straightforward, and I appreciate that because you're not wasting my fucking time. I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. I actually thank you, but you don't have the right to try to harm me. But if you don't give a fuck about me, then don't give a fuck about me. And what the fuck I'm doing should be none of your fucking business because you don't give a fuck about me. You don't care about me. You don't care about my existence as a human being or anything. So why anything about me matters to you moving forward from that point is basically what I want to say. Why does that matter? Why would that matter? Why? I shouldn't matter to you because you don't give a fuck about me. And you've transparently shown me, and you're expressing to me you don't give a fuck about me. So if I don't reciprocate it back to you or feel some kind of way because you don't give a fuck about me, but I actually give you a kudos silently inside of me or not or verbally to you, because I can see you don't give a fuck about me. Moving forward, I shouldn't be I shouldn't be a figmentation of your imagination or anything moving forward because you don't give a fuck about me. So I shouldn't be on your list anymore about anything. And you should not have any ingrown hairs in your butthole. You should not have any gray hairs in your nostrils. And you should not be gaining weight or losing weight over me, bitch, because you don't give a fuck about me. So let me be and let me have peace. But you don't even have to do that because you don't give a fuck about me. So I say this back to people who are minding other people's business all day and all night. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of shit that I don't have time to carry. I have so much other things going on with myself and with life and incorporating and meeting people and protecting myself from and literally trying to stay safe right now. Literally all day, every day that you may not even have those type of worries about as you carry your Louis Vuitton, as you carry your, you can swoosh your little hair and you go girl and hustle, struggle, wobble to the mix, break it on down while you do a fucking split. You can't do that. But good for you that you don't have those worries and those problems. Somebody's going to try to harm you or take you out for that. But I shouldn't matter to you. And why are you minding people's business all day? Like, you can plant a tree, you can volunteer again, you can help the homeless, you can help the elderly, you can work with the disabled. There's a lot of things you can do for yourself. You can meditate. I'm not here to tell you everything that you can do, but like, you get it. So, yeah. So, been a good day. I was able to worship. Um, that's important to me, not just on Sundays, the first day of the week, but every day, all day when I can. I have to remind myself that everything is a worship. Anytime something's going, shifting of the mind, thinking, negative infiltration, positive, all of that capsulates. And I have to remember to always just keep saying thank you, acknowledge, and keep listening, keep asking to be spoken to. The main thing is listening, listening for that still voice, listening for, listening for the next move of what I need to do, because that's where I'm at. And that's where I'm going to continue being, because that's what's working for me and that's what works for me. Um, and it's going to continue working for me because I more than likely would be in a different tussle right now or bustle right now if I hadn't been doing that and practicing that, because of so much that has been happening. as I'm so transparently visible to my situation and where I'm at and what's going on. I don't really explain how I've gotten here. A lot of it still, I'm like, okay, how did I get here? Being fucking nice, being fucking kind, doing everything for more people than what you do for yourself, showing up. You can't beat yourself up afterwards. Having people around you that are not strangers, that are family, friends, people that you feel that are close, that you've let in, who are actually doing stuff for you further down the line that you have no idea for. Can you get mad? Can you be mad? What do you do after it's all said and done? What do you do? What do you do? Throw yourself a pity party? They didn't give a fuck about you, just like that person sitting over there who shows you that they don't give a fuck about you. They just was better at it. They ate your food. They asked you to cook them food, give them rides, show up for them, call you family. Just, and we're all human. We all have emotions. It hurts. But also, what's my part? Oh, I've been dotting some I and crossing my T's. But in that, with me, what's my part? Come on, sister, sissy, let's sit down. Let's look in the mirror. Like Michael Jackson says, start with the man in the mirror. I just say start with the person in the mirror. Because people is they, them, those, there, near, she, he. Start with the person in the mirror. Because I have a part. But I'm recognizing my part, and I have been recognizing my part. But how long do I stay with that part? And what do I do with it as I'm recognizing and things are coming up? Because I'm human. I'm human. But what I'm not doing is reverse psychology to people and making people own shit that's mine. Or if I see something that I have done or they have, I'm making them, no. Like, I don't know if that just makes sense. I do have a traumatic brain injury, and sometimes how I say things, it's not how I mean it, but how I'm saying it. But I'm not short or anything. I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid, and I'm not shaming people who are. But I'm not short or anything. But I'm trying to really, 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 where people victimize themselves and make you feel like you are at fault for where they're at, and I need space so I can heal and I can grow. But the whole time they fucked over you, and they're not owning or having responsibility to what the fuck they've done to you or what they've done to situations or what they manipulate how they do it. So they reinvert back into you and make you the problem, make you the scapegoat, and then ask for you to give space so that they can heal and that they have space and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. But could never come to you and sit at the table and come with their part. If they truly love you as a friend, a family, a sister, a brother, a mother, a they, a zir, a near, whomever, just a person. So it's hard. When people tell me to leave them alone, that's the worst thing you could tell me because that's what I do best. That's what I've always done best. That has been my lifesaver in my life. When you tell me to leave you the fuck alone, that's what I do best. I know how to leave you the fuck alone. Because that is my safeguard and has been my safeguard in how I have protected myself from people. That's what I know how to do best is leave you the fuck alone. It doesn't mean that I don't care about you. Doesn't mean that I don't love you. It doesn't mean that I may not think about you or just see. I know how to leave you the fuck alone. But what I know how to do is not ever fuck with you again because that was my safety net. That's how I protected myself when I didn't know myself as much as I do now. So with me in this space and growing, I want to revert to that. Sometimes that comes up, and I can't put it all away because I need that as weapons of mass destruction and tools in my belt. Some people need it. And you have to do that for yourself to protect yourself. But it's where you stay and how you allow it to shape and form you and how you move forward. But I don't want to do that to hurt people because I'm hurting. And like they say, hurt people hurt people. And as I was hurt and been hurt, I also was hurting people by canceling my whole existence from them. And all the energy and everything that I gave to them out of love, out of my naturalness of my whole heart, of what God put into me, the blessings of the spirits and my ancestors, and how I show up and show it out. I also know how to give it to you, and I also know how to take it the fuck back and leave you high and dry, not knowing where that energy and everything has went. But that's how I was protecting myself. And it's okay in a certain aspect, but it wasn't okay in how I was doing it and what I realized. Because if I'm doing that, whether someone is harmful to me or not, I've done that because that's what my God of understanding has told me to do. That's what my Holy Spirit has told me to do. That's what my Jesus of understanding, who died and rose for me, told me to do. That's what my ancestors, my grandmother, my great aunts, my great grandfather, my grandfather, my people told me what to do. So if I've done it and I planted seeds from me authentically to people in helping or being there for people, why am I going to go into the soil, dig it up, not just dig and rip up the plant, things that have grown from it? No, I'm going way down there and I'm quietly doing it. I'm not telling you nothing. I'm going for those roots way down there and I'm snatching it out because that's what was safe for me. Because I heard it that bad. Because I looked for you when I needed you. I looked for you in those same ways when I needed it. And you didn't show up for me in those same ways. You had been canceled me. You had been canceled me. You just didn't let me know. So what I've done in the past is done with. I'm not uprooting anything. I'm not canceling anything. I'm not wishing bad towards anything. I did it because that's what I was told to do. And I did it from my heart. I did it organically. I did it authentically. I did it because that's how I would want someone to be with me. But I got to remember moving forward how I do it or how I treat others and how I show up for others and what I first need to see and like analyze if I can or how I can and what I can do first. But if I've done that, moving forward, I can't be jaded and look for you to be that same type of person to me. I have to not expect it. Because the reason why I did it, I shouldn't have been doing it to expect anything to begin with. If I loaned it to you, I shouldn't be looking for it back because I was able to give it. I hope you would give it back to me. I hope you would give it back to me. But the reason why I've given it to you is because I had it and I need to not expect anything back just in case you don't give it back to me. Just in case you don't give it back to me. It was what? Don't loan it unless you have it and don't expect it back. So I'm saying this because I'm seeing a lot of people are benefiting right now and where I'm at. And just the nasty, nasty ways, and not everybody. Don't think I'm that jaded. And again, what I have to realize is transplants are different. I'm a transplant. Transplants are different from people who are authentically and are like culturally born and raised where they're at. All of us have that wherever we're from and where we're born and raised. Me is two parts. Cajun, Cajun Creole, and then Creole. But my family's from both places. But I was born in one place and going to the same place since a child. And then as a teen on up, grew up in another place as I ventured out and went to other places and lived in other states. But that's where I grew up. That's where I'm from, and then there's where I was born. But all of it is me because my family is both and always has been both and have shifted and moved. And Katrina went back, and since a child, been on the steamboats in the Mississippi at 2 years old, 3 years old. My great uncle worked on. So what I'm saying is that like these people are like playing a lot of games, and they should not be. They should reap what they sow. And what I mean by that is how they treat people where they're not natively from, and how they're existing and coexisting, and what they're doing, and how they're even overpowering, shifting people that are natively from the areas that they're from. When they go out, they're here because it thrives for them, and it's like a cocoon in a bubble. So when you see these people and they're navigating around you in different states and different places and different spaces, don't treat them motherfuckers any different type of way because they're not authentically telling you what they're doing and how they're thriving and what they're really doing to people. And again, I'm not talking about everyone, but there's a good majority and how they're benefiting. And that goes for a lot of people within the LGBTQ plus spectrum, a lot of people on the trans spectrum. And that's why they're here, because it benefits them. It gives them exclusionarianism, if that's the word, or I can just make it up right now, and that's okay. They shouldn't get any type of any differences because they shouldn't, because of how they treat others. I'm not saying be mean as far as like go out your way to be mean or be harmful to these people. I'm not advocating bullying. I'm not advocating harm to people. But if they buck up on you, buck up. Because but I don't feel they would do that because when they're traveling they need to be that little that little I'm good to people all day, all night. I treat people wonderfully, you know. But why are you doing that to people when you don't give a fuck about them? There should be a figmentation of your imagination. That's extra space for you that you could be doing way more positive and more productive things for yourself because you got it. It's all for you. The cards are laid for you. Your community and everything. Like, I get it. But if you're using your community, your power to disenfranchise people, to stomp on them physically, energetically, spiritually, everything, beat them down when you see they're already down, or whatever your reason. I don't know why you're going for people in the ways you're going for them. I can't speak all to that, but you shouldn't be doing that and giving them open wounds. And like a an elder in San Francisco told me, baby, they're not abusing you. They're pouring acid on your wounds. Literally, you're giving people wounds, and then you're standing over them, and you're like energetically, spiritually, then pouring acid on their wounds. You already beat them the fuck down. You already won to yourself, to your greater masses. To me, that's gang activity. You want to talk about gang members? That's gang activity. That is gang activity. But geez Louise, why are y'all minding all those people business? There's already not enough space. It's limited space for lots of people. Those who live in states all around that can work here but come here and act like they live here while they are working here and bring their stuff and then go back to where they're living. And for what I'm perceiving, if they don't go back to where they're living and execute that there, they just have entitlement to do it here because you don't hold them accountable. But I don't think you can go to where they live and execute what they do here without being held accountable. I don't know. You got visitors from this country. We have 49 other states. We have people that come from other countries. It's a lot of people. But if you're not doing it to those people, then why are you doing it to people that you feel you can do it to here? That you have just like gotten out of a thorn of rose bushes or something that you and y'all all are doing it together. Where is the memo? How are y'all all on the same page and on the same alignment? Y'all all don't live in the same house. Y'all all don't work in the same places. Y'all all aren't passing each other up on the same blocks. It's very limited. Y'all all aren't at the same places running. The whole stretch to run. Y'all are not all running and turning and meeting each other at the same place. How are y'all all in the same communication? But again, back to it. No one has the right or authority to mind all of somebody's business like that in limited spaces and places to begin with. That actually should be a crime. People should be held accountable. That is beyond invasive. because you're not moving. A lot of them, and I shouldn't put it all into a whole, because that's like bias of me to say and show. But again, there's obviously some way you're communicating and doing it all together in the same alignment. Again, something that can make you go, set you back in your head. Like, you definitely can't focus on that either and keep space for sanity because they don't pay enough to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I feel. I feel. And again, I'm not shaming it. And people, it happens. And I'm glad there are benefits for people. And some people who are really, really, really there don't even get benefits and they're doing it raw and real. And those are some of the best respectful people to me. Some may speak to me, some may not. But those are some of the best people to me when they see me. For one, I visibilize them, I don't devisibilize them. I acknowledge them, whether I speak, a nod, a head, giving eye contact or something. I gauge if to or not. Respect and space is given because it's not a lot of space, and everyone, no matter where you are, who you are, you don't have to. I get it. You don't have to speak to everybody, and I get it. But those are some of the most respectful people to me, and especially in my positions that I've been in, begging and asking from people who know me or the ones that I have been able to contact or reach out to or saw physically just ran into you and you, yeah, with me for 1 second. The other one had a phone up. Looks like the Wi-Fi is something cut off. I'm shocked you went this long. I'm glad. But again, yeah, I'm trying to get back to where I was at in that little. You had that phone up, calling back home in that moment. I've asked those people for help. I've asked people to get contacts, just contacts to get me to people, just so I can talk. Can't even get that. Haven't been able to get that. That's what I wanted to say earlier too. It was vision that spoke to me and shared with me about elitism in the LGBTQ plus community, and I'm also seeing it outside. Elitism. That's what I couldn't speak to earlier. Vision. So I've spoken to this and just been sharing and unpacking this, just because like folks don't need to be comfortable when they travel outside and go to places and expect the hospitality from these people and hate black transgender women here specifically and then go to other places and just be all gun-ho and hooray for the whole trans community, the whole LGBTQ plus spectrum everywhere, whether heterosexual or a part of that community or not, and then come back here to this nestle of space here and then literally rub one off and jerk one out on being cruel, harmful, targeting, gangster against black trans people. And I really want to say black trans women because trans men are able to flow through in ways that are different for trans women, especially in bigger climates and bigger cities where you can melt in and there's a lot of people bustling. And then also I'm finding that in bigger places, a lot of trans men do not out themselves as being trans. Um, you know, medications and things help them to make them more passable, especially voice wise and different things. And being a man is being different. And I don't know if you're gonna call me biased or anything. Being a man is different. Throwing on a t-shirt, some basketball shorts, some boxers, and some shoes or some things, and the girls gotta, or the girls don't. The girls just could be themselves. But I saw a trans woman riding on the bike trail. I was sitting by the waterfall yesterday, just having an aha moment with myself. My baby was resting and the sun was setting. And I posted a picture because I just took that picture in that moment. And I saw a spiritual part of me that I hadn't seen in a while, that I know existed, but I thought I was disconnected from. And God showed it to me in that picture. I don't need no half of these people if they're trans or not. I'm just not looking for that. I'm just not even paying attention to that. I'm not even worried about that. I know people know my tea because my tea is already out there. Whether I just, and even if I was my full self, I don't care if I'm clocked in. A lot of times I don't get, but I know my privileges within it. She was on a bike with this guy on the bike trail. And I was just like, just happened to just be in my own little world, listening to my Celine Dion. Yeah, there's nothing else, and I know that my heart will go on. And I looked, and the bitch was mean mugging me. We'll say, I don't even know you. What do you know about me, man? Or whatever your pronouns are. What do you know about me? You drew me into you. You and half of the girls that look like you. Because y'all don't have to worry about half the shit that a girl that looks like me has to worry about or go through and navigate here. And whether they live in another borough or not, and I'm not being biased and saying that all of them are, because that's just not me. I've never been that way, and I don't see people all like that. And I have seen some good and bad and ugly and everything, but I've seen some good as well. It's an exclusionism, an elitism, culture for you. But you drew me into you. I didn't even know you were for them. Because again, I'm not looking for that. But then I also too don't clock the girls when I see them. I just don't do that. I don't have nothing to benefit from it for. And I know how hard it is out here and how safety for everyone matters. I also see you with the man on your side way more than I see a lot of the other girls. He's not afraid to be with you. He's not afraid to be visible with you. He takes you out to dinner. He brings you in front of his coworkers. He brings you to the family. Y'all ride bikes together. Y'all go on walks together. Y'all sunbathe together. And who else knows what y'all are doing together? And it's none of my business. But he was right on the side of you. And you actually alerted him to who I was just by the way you looked at me. And I don't know what you said to him. But again, how do you know who I am? Because I don't know you. I didn't know who you are from Adam or Eve or Tom or Steve or Susie or Lucy, but you knew who I was. Samoshit. Samoshit. How do these girls all know who I am? And they've been doing it to me lately a lot. A block away up the streets, two and three in a group. Anarchists looking, non-anarchists looking. Like, these girls, like, don't let them fool you when they travel. They're here for a reason. And when they go out and they may be all hunky dory and all just inclusive of everyone, they're not here. And instead of looking at me like that, why don't you get to know me or ask me a little bit about my story or ask me about my testimony? I'm not looking to come up to you and beg you for anything, but I mean, you gave me that energy and that time, so you know something of me, know something of me. Why not have a conversation with me or be like, hey girl, here's my number. I'm not on social media or something, but here's a platform or something, or hey, follow, my YouTube, and maybe you can, a little gist of something. But she rolled her eyes so far back into her head. That's what made me notice her Adam's apple. And again, I do not break anyone down visually like that. That is not my place or space to break anyone down from this. I don't want to do that to people. Because from the clockiest girl to the most passable girl, everyone deserves space to be safe, to be free, and to navigate and be themselves. But it's not just those girls. I'm getting it from other girls too that are of other nationalities and different spectrums. But again, how do y'all know who I am? I've never engaged you. We never had a conversation. Since you are a community, do you mind sharing a little bit with me? That could help me a little bit. You don't have to tell me a lot, but maybe just give me a little bit of you know, since you're not in danger in these kinds of ways, since you're not impacted in these kinds of ways, since you can go and get a job and you have your apartment or roommates or whatever you're doing it, like you girls, like it's wonderful for you, and it should be. You mind sharing a little bit of what you know or what you heard? You mind telling me my name? And not to be political. It was all worried about the administration in this community. They don't look like they worried, or they don't look like it is impacting them specifically. And I get it. But if you're not going to engage a girl who you feel is way down there and lesbian below you, or whatever you heard about her, or whatever experiences you know about her, you're choosing not to engage her, share what the hell you know or how you found it out, anything like, why does she matter to you? Why are you pulling me in to recognize who you are? You're clocking yourself. You're clocking your own teeth. By showing fuckery to me, you're clocking your own self. And I just realized that I hope that I could be heard on this because because the only little volume part is right at the bottom, and I had to put this up on something. So I hope I came across some kind of voice wise through this because it's either going to do that or whatever vessel it is that navigates through here that I have no control of because this is publicly funded. Um, Gets to, I guess, do what they do. Can't pay attention to that either because there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. I hope that y'all have been able to hear me. Just noticing that now. Those are just some things I just wanted to speak to. Um, I do know that there was or is this crime alert thing here where you can report as a good neighbor, as good people, that you've seen something in the neighborhood. Well, guess what? When me and my baby first got here, I knew nothing about it. Gotta realize I started at an intake in the Bronx. I was moved to Brooklyn. I had to fight a stray cat because it was trying to harm my baby. I literally had to fight a stray cat in a dorm. Someone had a cat, I guess they had captured outside and brought it as a service animal, and I guess was trying to make it a service animal while they were in the shelter. And they put the cat with my fur baby and another fur baby that was 19 years old that had been in there for a while. 10 of us in a room, three animals, 10 of us. So that's the intentional stuff people were doing. And good thing the 19-year-old wasn't there, but I had to do everything to hold my baby back. And good thing there was a locker because this little thing decided within that moment of being so nice for like a couple of weeks that it wanted all the territory. And my baby had nothing to do with it. They was like laying, sleeping, and they decided they wanted, and I had to use a towel in my foot. And when I tell you I was kicking field goals, I had to do what I had to do in the moment because if I would have let go of my fur baby, everything would have been put on her and she's innocent. So I had to think of her well being, my well being. One of the roommates had just took a shower and was wrapped in a towel. I have an elderly, they called her, she's the elder of everyone, was on one side who was next to the cat, who was underneath her bed alive. There was another person, a lot of people wasn't in there, and the person who next to me, if they would have been there, they would have got effed up because that cat was utilizing that bed to do everything. So with the towel in my foot, I was kicking field goals. I had to kick them across the room. And when I tell you they came back at least 10 to 12 times, but I started there and then I'm here. I've been here over 2 years. What I didn't realize is that people can report on these apps if they see crimes or things. And what I was told by some people in community, I didn't know anything about the app. You could just be sitting somewhere, anything. And what this vessel allows for people to report, but no one is like checking if this is, I guess, true or not. Me and my fur baby became targets for people to report, I guess, on these vessels. Like, and then in the areas where I was sitting, I was learning how to navigate and didn't know where I was in learning. These places and spaces were people mostly of like Jersey, Connecticut, like people who are outsourced to come and work here, and they get off on the trains and things, or, and thousands of them come up from underground daily, and they walk to these places or get on other vessels to take them to other places. Well, these were a lot of the people that were reporting on these things. And what they were reporting about us wasn't true. I was kind of not aware of people utilizing cameras at the time. I learned a lot of that here of how to become aware, but then again, you can't allow that to mess with you mentally either. You just have to hold your space. You have to speak like you know people are listening. You have to move like you know people are watching. You have to just do like you know people are recording just to have some peace and sanity. And back to what Milan said, zero fucks. You literally have to give that because it would literally drive you insane. You actually have to expect no privacy in order to have a little hint of some privacy. And that privacy is just your sanity. And that's a lot. That's a lot. So we were being visibilized with pictures and I guess videos and audios and things. And that's how she started getting targeted. Specifically of the harness that I had on her as well that specified what she did for me. Then I had it a certain color to give her an identity of her gender because she was being misgendered so much. But then I had to realize the reason why she was being misgendered, who you think they was actually misgendering. through her. It's a bunch of men around me right now picking up chairs and cleaning and doing stuff. And their looks on me is not the most comfortable. I'm still talking to my live stream here. So those are just some things that got unpacked and I was able to share. I just appreciate those who did come into the live. No one's in here right now, and that's okay. I don't really speak to this live to one day it'll have thousands, you know. But again, I hope you can hear. Um, I guess moral of the story of my conversation is a lot of them who are not natively from here are benefiting, and then they're traveling out, and they're going around you, and they're going around your communities, and they're going to be a part of your communities, and y'all are hosting, and y'all are showing them good times, showing them good times. They're not being quite frank, actually, to what they're actually doing when they come on back home. And I just want to share out and share that today, part of my experiences and part of what I see. I don't talk to a lot of people. A lot of people don't speak to me. I get it. It's not a climate that does that. Social distances is something I do, but then I also don't do it. Social distancing. I get a little bit of a little list. I was a thumb sucker my whole life. I don't suck my thumb as much anymore. I still have a little bit that I go back to. But, it used to be all day, all night. It was like my confidant. It was my mother. It was my pain. It was my confidant, my thumb. Like, so I have a little bit of a list. But I like it. It gets better. It has gotten better. Um, ooh, kind of just forgot what I was saying. That happens. Um, Anywho, thank you for watching. Thank you for being in. I'm Sister Sissy. I enjoyed hanging out and having a conversation with you guys. Thank you for holding space for me. Keep showing love to people. Keep showing love to people, but don't support and show love and like be all cuckoo for cocoa puffs, like Miss Jupiter would say, la la la. Cuckoo for cocoa puffs over people who like do this bullshit, benefit, and then go by you and go by your communities and hang out and benefit there, and then act like everything's all hunky dory and not really transparently sharing what they're actually doing and what they can get away with and what's beneficial for them and how they move and navigate, and That's important, not just for people like me that they do it too. It's a whole bunch of other people, but you know, they don't deserve that. They deserve to work on themselves. And my main cause for saying this because they're being fucked up to people who actually are from the places and the spaces. I'm just a transplant like them, but they all know me. My moral of this is to care of the people who are native. And the native are no longer just American born. They're born elsewhere and they're native from here and born native. I just have a respect for that. Wherever I've lived, I've always had a respect for the native. It's just like where I'm from, but where I'm from, we're so hospitality to people that we bring everyone in and just allow everyone in. And I'm speaking to y'all too. Because I was a rideshare driver. And I drove a lot of people from that Louis Armstrong to the French Quarter, whatever. The best of the best couture, the core, the most private, the most spacious, cool heat, radio height, clean car, boom. Gave them space to have privacy. I drove a lot of them from here or said that they lived here. Where are those people that can vouch for me and my credibility as a person to whatever narrative that is going on about me? And don't think I'm so asphyxiating and think that it's all. But there's some. But again, I don't look like myself. And then it was COVID as well a lot of times, so I had a mask on. But you can make out who I am. I spoke English and cinnamon roll. I like to laugh. I'm silly. And I also told you to think softly because I can hear your thoughts. And I really could hear your thoughts. But I didn't know how much it scared the hell out of people. That was in my bio. Think softly. I can hear your thoughts. But what I realized it did to people, people were too scared to think, so people didn't think of anything harmful to do to me. Hey. And then I had some people like, girl, I don't know how to think softly. Like, I'm just relax. I'm kidding. It's a joke. But I really could hear as well. But I could tune it out or turn it off or tune it in. But I chose to give privacy. So, if y'all are watching this or ever get to see this, like, that's me. So, thank you guys for tuning in again. I'm Sister Sissy. Beautiful rest of your day and evening. Love you hard.